So it's been a little while since I have done a video, probably at least 3 weeks. Um, I discovered pretty quickly that doing a daily blog was just not going to work for me. I am not that structured. And trying to keep on top of it daily and trying to come up with topics to talk about when there may not be any changes on a daily basis was just not going to work for me. Plus, adding the thing at the beginning, uh, the I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like, hey, this is the page you're on, and welcome. It's not gonna work for me either. So, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and upload probably straight from my phone most of the time. That seems to be the easiest mode for me to get stuff done. So apologize for my hair being all over the place. I really need to take a shower, and I recently had it up in a thing like this all day, so it's just kind of got a mind of its own right now. But I decided that it was quiet and it was a good time to try to get another video up because a lot has happened since the last video. So among the things that have happened, I now think that I am not just dealing with a thyroid condition, but I'm actually possibly dealing with Lyme disease. My symptoms seem to match a good portion of the symptoms that come along with Lyme disease. I had kind of been presented with the idea of Lyme disease pretty early on to all my symptoms, but dismissed it for two reasons. One was because I knew that my TSH was really high. If you recall, it was at 409 at the highest, and it probably was higher than that at one point, but I'm not sure how high. And so I kept thinking that once I was on my medication and my levels were coming back down into range, that my symptoms one day would just disappear. That has not really happened. They have let up. I am not in as much pain most of the time as I was initially. I can move my legs. I can get up and move most of the time. When my TSH was super high, it became like my legs were like cinder blocks. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to pick up something really heavy and you go and you think you can pick it up and you pull it up from the ground and it doesn't budge. That's how my legs were. I could barely move them. And my arms were the same way. Everything was heavy. Trying to move something, even a lightweight blanket, was a huge undertaking. And it was just a big problem. So in that respect, I'm feeling better. Mentally, I'm feeling better. I don't feel so dragged out and so tired most of the time. In fact, there's a big disconnect between my body and my brain, because my brain is like ready to do stuff. And most of the time, if I'm just laying there and I'm not moving, I don't feel any pain. But the second I try to move, it's like, oh yes, that's right. I'm dealing with a big problem here. So I had dismissed the idea of Lyme disease because we live in Wisconsin, and it was in January that these symptoms started. So it's not exactly, tick season. But it turns out that Lyme disease can lie dormant in your system for not just weeks and months, but actually years. And all of my symptoms seem quite familiar to the Lyme disease. So I have blood work scheduled for Friday, and I called my doctor's office asking if I can get in for Lyme disease testing. I'm half expecting that the testing will come back negative even if I have it. The testing is notoriously inaccurate and gives false negatives. So if it comes back negative, I'm probably going to go and try to do secondary testing with a lab that is more accurate. That I'll probably have to pay out of pocket for. So what has happened? Oh my gosh, a lot has happened. Like I said, for the most part, I'm feeling better. I have really bad days. This morning I woke up feeling pretty terrible. Tonight, surprisingly, I'm feeling pretty decently. Usually when I wake up feeling bad, it lasts for a day or two, the whole day, and doesn't start tapering. It just starts to taper off at the very end of the day, if it only lasts one day. But usually it goes for 2 to 3 days. So the fact that I woke up this morning feeling pretty horrible, but am now feeling actually really well, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing the video, is pretty interesting. And I have a theory to that, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So I had my ultrasound on my throat done. Have not heard the results back on that. I have a appointment with my primary a week from Friday. So I have the blood work Friday and then my primary appointment a week from Friday. The Lyme disease testing apparently will not come back in that time frame. So I probably will not have the results once I go to my appointment. But we'll see what everything else says. I know that my B12 is being tested, my D3 is being tested. I think magnesium is being tested. Of course, thyroid is going to be tested. So we got a bunch of tests going on anyway. And since the last video, I have gotten Young Living. I signed up for Young Living to be a distributor, even though I really don't know much about oils. I was really hoping that the oils would be helpful to me. I don't know that they have been very helpful for the little bit that I've done internally, except for today. I think today may have been a different situation. But I think by using the diffuser, that was actually quite helpful. I used several different scents and have found a couple that I really like. So I'll go ahead and show you that right diffuser now. I got for or with my premium starter kit. I really love the diffuser. It also has an ionizer on it, which is, I'm pretty sure is working well because it seems to be catching some dirt at the bottom of the diffuser. Either that or that's just some of the oil being diffused or something. I'm not really sure, but at any rate, it makes me feel better, even if it's only psychological, when it's going. And I've had it going almost nonstop since I got it, and that was probably 2 weeks ago. I have a couple different oils that I really, really like. My favorite one right now is this one, which is called Stress Away. Let's see if I can. There we go. So that one right now is my favorite. I'm actually going to start it up here in just a second because it hasn't been going. And it's pretty easy to use. Basically, you put, it calls for up to 8 drops, but I have been doing 4 to 5 because I'm in a smaller room right now. And the first day that I got it, I put thieves in it, and I did 8 drops of thieves, and I thought I was going to die. I had to shut it off within 20 minutes. It'll go for hours, but it was so strong, and I really felt like I had consumed pumpkin pie. But at any rate, so it's pretty easy to use. You get this little pitcher thing. You put water in there, you put the oil in there, and then you go ahead and pour it into your diffuser. Inside, there's like a little switch that you're supposed to flip. You're supposed to flip up when you want to put the water in it. You're supposed to flip it down when the diffuser is ready to be used. So comes with this remote. Has different settings. I've not really used all of the different settings. I've not really used all the different settings. I pretty much use the on-off and the LED control. Sometimes I'll shut this off too, the ionizer, because if I have my baby in here, then the lights tend to keep her awake. So it's got different settings. The first setting, it'll rotate through different colors on the inside, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip to those. Whoops. Might be helpful to push the correct button. So I turn it on, and then this bottom button changes the color. So it's got that color. It's got yellow, which is hard to see. And then it's got this purple. But I'm going to switch it back to yellow and shut the light off. Actually, I'm going to leave it on that, and then I'll come back through and do all of them so you can see what it looks like. So this is the teal. the yellow, and the purple. So I generally like the purple, and so I'm going to go ahead and leave that on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the light on. Okay, so I've really been loving using the diffuser. I just put the Stress Away in, and I honestly think that it does help to reduce my stress, if for no other reason than just because the scent is very pleasing to me. So the one I have in there now is Stress Away. My kit came with a whole bunch of different things. Came with Purification. I like this one as well. Frankincense, peppermint, lemon, copaiba, lavender, thieves, RC. This is supposed to be for respiratory care. Personally, I don't really care for the RC. It has an odd scent to it that I just don't care for. And then the Panaway. I am missing one oil, and I'm not sure which one it is. But at any rate, I had a friend send me the Idaho Balsam Fir before I even became a distributor. However, she sent me the copaiba, the Idaho Balsam Fir, and the frankincense in an effort to create what are called morphine bombs. You basically put 5 drops, I believe, of each. I'd have to double check on that, but 5 drops of each into a capsule and consume it, and it's supposed to be for pain management. Initially, when I used it, I did not find that it was very helpful. The pain I'm dealing with, I think, is just on a whole different level.